Coming up on this episode of Earth, we travel to Australia to see how a global partnership of mining giants is restoring mined land to its native roots. We take you to central Washington state to see how sustainability is key for growing healthy foods for future generations. We introduce you to a U.S. company that offers a holistic approach to packaging during these pandemic times, and an investment management company that has specialized in sustainable investing for nearly a century. Plus, a surprising renewable energy program by a major food company that may well be the future of farming in America. It's all coming up on Earth.
Hi, I'm John Holden.
And I'm Andrea Ocampo. Welcome to Earth.
Hi, I'm John Holden, and welcome to Earth. We're starting off our show here in the country down under, Australia. It's a country that's had its fair share of fires, drought, and floods, but nature always comes back to what you see behind me. Wide open spaces, green grass, wild animals, and in those mountains, mining. And when a mine closes down, that's when people band together to bring nature back in their own way, as you're about to see.
Mining. Today, the need for sustainably mined minerals is greater than ever to meet the world's growing demand for products we use every day.
Every part of our daily lives, whether it's a mobile phone or an iPod, all the stuff that comes to make up those is part of mining.
Mining is very important for everybody in the world. In fact, if you think about it, if it's not grown, it's mined.
But today, at mine sites like Dawson Mine in central Queensland, Australia, when a mine closes, the work just begins for restoring that land to its natural state. In this case, it's a first-time ever rehabilitation partnership between global mining company Anglo American and Komatsu, a global provider of earth-moving equipment, banding together to return mined land to the native condition it was before mining ever began.
Anglo American has about 40 operations around the world in various commodities, including metallurgical coal, iron ore, nickel, platinum, and so on. And what's critical with mine closure planning across those 40 operations is integrating mine closure with life of mine planning.
We need to develop sustainable mining, and this is a very important part of that mining cycle. We used our machines initially to tear up this ground so they could dig the coal out, and now we're using our machines to re-establish the topography and help plant the trees again and close that mining cycle.
This global partnership of mining giants is called Growing Together, for which Komatsu and Anglo American have invited indigenous people and local school children to the Dawson Mine site to learn about their commitment to sustainable growth and to actually help plant the first trees to restore this formerly mined land to its native roots.
So today what you see behind me, we're actually going to be planting 9,000 trees. So we've come out with the local school kids, and obviously some of the Komatsu partnership and some of the mine personnel, which to show how important rehabilitation is.
Today I would like children to learn that they are the future, and if they can help prepare for the future and be part of the future.
I'm really glad that we're helping the environment along because it's getting destroyed a lot now.
So I feel like we should do these things more often because, yeah.
You know, children represent the future. They need to understand the importance of mining, but the importance also that mining has to be sustainable, that we have to complete the cycle. And this is a very, very important final step to take the land back to where it was before we started mining here.
And what we'd love to do is have them back in 5 years so they can go and have a look at the trees that they planted and see that they're part of the sustainable future for the planet.
But replanting a closed mine site like this is no small task. I mean, it's summer here in Australia, in the upper 90s to 100s. That's why I'm carrying a water bottle for hydration, a bush hat for the sun, and most importantly, the right plants to place in the right site.
In this case, nearly 1,000 native eucalyptus trees are being planted on this closed mine site that will someday grow to be shade trees for grazing cattle.
We're doing today fits in is carbon. So all of these trees that we're planting today will fix carbon and will be a carbon sink into the future.
The end result of reforestation projects like this can now be seen worldwide in such places as the Monongahela National Forest in West Virginia, where Komatsu has teamed up with Green Forest Work to bring the red spruce trees of the Appalachian Forest back to life in abandoned mining sites.
Put the land back to the way it was, or the condition it was prior to the mining. And I think that's the responsible thing that mining companies need to do. And if this land was a forest before it was mined, it should be reclaimed as a forest or rehabilitated as a forest land. So it's really important to put these sites back and not only green it up, but try to mimic the natural biodiversity that used to be here. Plant native plants, plant the things that were here prior to the mining. And that makes the system more resilient for things like climate change and bushfires and anything that might come at it. If you have a natural system and plants that are genetically adapted to this environment, then they're going to do really good here.
It has to be a sustainable, it's got to be a balance. We can't just stop mining, otherwise we'd all freeze in the dark. But we have to look after our environment.
It's crucial. I mean, our legacy should be that we bring the land back to us close to what it was before we started mining.
For the important things we need in this world, if it's not grown, it's mined. And here in Australia, when the mine closes, it's what's grown in its place that really matters for this good earth. Our next story takes us here to the beautiful mountains and foothills of central Washington, an area known for its abundant agriculture and fruit orchards that are shipping its produce around the nation. But sustainability is what's important for growing this healthy food for future generations. In fact, the pear picked from this orchard is now on its way from the orchard to your dinner table on the most sustainable journey that started from seed, as you're about to see.
We all want our food products today to not only be nutritious and healthy, but also sustainably grown and packaged as close as possible to the actual field where it's grown on this good earth. Whether it's the sweet corn harvested in a cornfield or the pears hand-picked from the orchard. Just ask a sustainable grower like Phil Nelson, whose pear orchards near Yakima, Washington, have been in his family for nearly 100 years.
I'm the third generation, so the sustainability is very important to me because I want my kids to be able to have this and for them to be successful, and maybe they will choose to hand it down to another generation. But that's part of the renewal, sustainability, keeping it viable. If you don't do that, you're not going to be around.
Sustainability is a factor in every decision that's made in the life cycle of the crop, all the way from variety selection to transportation, location where we grow, packaging. It's the foundation on everything else is based on.
It means farmers actually partnering with global food companies to ensure a quick and sustainable journey from farm to plate, to ensure the best quality nutrition in packaged fruits and vegetables. One such global partner is Del Monte Foods, one of this country's largest producers of branded food products that leads the way in sustainable growing practices.
Sustainable agricultural practices are embedded into everything we do at Del Monte Foods. The long-term health of our planet, our business, and our growers depend on it. One example of how we prioritize sustainability is in our seed selection, where we partner with growers to select non-GMO seed varieties that help improve yield while also reducing water usage and fertilizer usage. Our mission has remained the same throughout our 130-year history: to nourish families with Earth's goodness responsibly.
Well, Central Washington is unique for growing corn. We've got long, hot days. We've got low humidity and cool nights. All of our growers use center pivot irrigation, so they're able to control the water as much as needed or as little as needed to grow the crop with no waste.
Del Monte also invests in the latest field technology to share with farmers. Technology like Crop Track, which allows farmers to track important data throughout the growing cycle, from irrigation rates to traceability from field to retailer.
It's been a big tool for us. Being able to track variety, nutrients, water, planting date, harvest date, pretty much everything from the time the seed goes into the ground until the end.
It's a relationship that truly keeps the sustainable food journey going strong, from seed to harvest to packaging.
Sustainability is critically important to the future of our entire supply chain, and we constantly challenge ourselves to do better. A good example is packaging. While the majority of our products are sold in recyclable metal cans, we constantly challenge ourselves to reduce the impact of all of our packaging, whether it's corrugate or plastic. Our packaging sustainability goals include our commitment to move to 100% recyclable, reusable, or compostable plastic packaging by 2030.
It's a sustainable journey that begins with farm partners like Phil Nelson in central Washington state, where fresh fruit from his pear orchards can be harvested and packaged the very same day, traveling only a few miles from the farm to the manufacturing facility.
Two of the field people have been here today. They're interested in me as a grower being successful, and I'm interested in them as a company being successful. It's a teamwork.
Once that fruit is ripened and ready to eat, it's run through our line in 15 to 30 minutes and packaged and ready for shipment to the customer.
And best of all, once these fruit and veggies arrive at your grocery store and dining table, they can still be as nutritious as fresh or frozen foods.
It's all about a legacy. Del Monte's had a legacy of being sustainable before the word was ever used commonly.
As one of the nation's most trusted brands, we are committed to growing good for generations to come.
It's all part of a sustainable journey from farm to plate that can make our packaged food as good and healthy as when it was first picked.
Next up, field correspondent Andrea Ocampo is in Atlanta, Georgia.
Americans love online retail. We love the speed and convenience of boxes being left for us on our doorstep. They say love is blind, but many consumers are tired of turning a blind eye to the environmental cost of online retail, particularly when it comes to packaging. Let's take a closer look. The world has changed dramatically with the spread of COVID-19. While the long-term effects of COVID-19 are yet to be determined, its immediate impact on retailing is significant. U.S. e-commerce, already growing fast before the current pandemic, accelerated when the pandemic hit the United States last March. Retailers of essential goods are experiencing increased demand of opportunities for serving consumers at home while facing challenges of inventory, supply chain management, and packaging. In today's world of home deliveries, packaging, much of its single use, has created opportunities for more recycling and using recycled materials.
Holistic approach to packaging entails a lot of different things. For us, it really starts again with the customer and works its way backwards. So from a packaging perspective, a package needs to do a couple basic things. It needs to protect the product, it needs to provide a brand experience, and at the same time, we hope it offers sustainability.
As consumers, we dispose of tons of packaging materials each year, but more and more customers are taking a stand, demanding more environmentally friendly materials, both in what arrives on the doorstep and what can be curbside recycled. There is one company working to make a difference, creating customized and environmentally friendly solutions.
Veritiv is very committed to the environment and sustainability. From our perspective, we describe ourselves as material obsessed and design led. And what that means for us is we've got to find the right and the latest materials that are focused on sustainability from the right manufacturers offering the latest technologies. It also means that we've got to have the right design and engineering resources to help our customers select what materials are right for them. And then going beyond that to make sure that we can think through things like automating their process to reduce waste, make sure we can think about things like helping them think through an efficient supply chain. Those are all things that are important to Veritiv. So we continue to get better every year. We've got a long way to go, but we're committed to helping.
That's why Veritiv is working overtime to change packaging by bridging between brand owners and manufacturing companies. Headquartered in Atlanta, Veritiv Corporation is a Fortune 500 packaging leader. Veritiv employs thousands of team members who design, source, and distribute eco-friendly packaging to customers in a wide range of industries. All companies have a responsibility to reduce their environmental impact. There is a need for innovative solutions using recycled materials that can be 100% curbside recycled after use. And as one of the fastest growing packaging companies, Veritiv understands the importance of leading by example.
So one thing that Veritiv is really focused on is making sure that we're partnering with our customers to make sustainability accessible by finding the right material and bringing them the right design that's going to meet those performance, cost, and sustainability requirements.
At HP, we're working to drive a circular and low carbon economy. And part of that includes eliminating waste wherever possible. We've set a goal to eliminate packaging waste, 75% of all of our single-use plastic packaging by 2025. And our partnership with Veritiv is all about that same ethos of being more sustainable and helping to change the entire packaging industry.
We've received very positive feedback from customers around our new packaging. Not only do they expect it to be easy to recycle and expect it to be green, they also expect the product to arrive undamaged. But one of the other benefits that we were able to accomplish with the molded fiber packaging trays that Veritiv helped us to design is that the components are all organized in a way that makes our product easier to install, and our customers love that.
One of the biggest things we've learned is that no customer is created equal. What we look for is we look for a unique solution for all of our customers. We'll try to find, again, based on their needs for protecting their product and offering a brand experience, we'll provide a number of different options for them. Again, we focus what materials to use, the design of those materials, and how to automate that process based on the specific customer's needs.
These companies want others to join in the recycled crusade, both using recycled materials in packaging and recycling after use. Remember, every change, no matter how small, when added up, has the ability to make a big difference. I'm Andrea Ocampo. Until next time.
Our next stop, Boston, Massachusetts, a scenic city along the Charles River known for its history, beauty, and also for investing in its future when it comes to the environment. And these days, it's all about sustainability, not only in the products that we use, but also in our investment choices, investments that can create long-term value responsibly. Let's take a look.
Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, you can't deny that environmental change is having an impact on our behavior today. You see it in our everyday actions and in the products we use every day.
Climate change is having a tremendous impact on consumers, and I think it's mainly because consumers have access to a tremendous amount of information. Consumers care not only about what products they're buying, but how those products are produced, and we have access to a lot more information today to make those determinations.
But what we now demand as consumers is only the beginning. Companies are changing their ways and improving their products to meet consumer demand. And that has opened up a whole new green world of opportunity in the financial world, in sustainable investing.
For sustainable investing, the key to us is really understanding the impact on future investments, future cash flows, and future people, society, and businesses, and understanding how that transition happens over time.
But the other component is managing risk. When we invest, we're all taking risk. And when you think about allocating risk responsibly, you've got to make sure that you're investing in companies that actually are understanding those risks from an environmental perspective. And today, they have gotten tremendously bigger.
What many people now see as sustainable investing has been part of the history for nearly a century at MFS, a Boston investment management firm that today manages nearly $600 billion for clients in more than 30 countries. In fact, MFS actually created the very first mutual fund in 1924, opening the door to the financial markets for millions of everyday investors.
The mission of MFS, or I'd like to say the purpose of MFS, and this has not changed, I don't believe, for 96 years. That is, it is our responsibility to create value responsibly. I usually like to say great investing or good investing is understanding the rate of change. And so if you can understand that change as it relates to what's happening with the environment and how companies are taking that on, there's the opportunity for good investing and creating value.
Traditional investing textbooks tell us that you can either make money or you can do well by society. I think we're seeing today that you can do both, and the "and" is very important. You can make money and do well by society and the planet. And that's our challenge and our mission as an investment community, is to really bring that to the fore.
It means MFS going deep in its complex research of choosing what companies to invest in, especially when it comes to tackling the huge sustainability issues facing our planet today, like the impact of plastics on our land and ocean environment.
40% of plastic usage is actually used in packaging of food and beverages, things that we use every day. That's expected to triple by 2050. Currently, we're seeing 8 million tons of plastic waste go into our oceans every year. There's an opportunity to change that, and there's a real demand for society, by society, to change that perspective as well. And that's our opportunity, to reward companies that are making the investments for substitutes, to make plastics fully circular in the economy and not end up in landfills. Those are the companies that not only would be rewarded from an investment standpoint, but are truly benefiting society at large.
Our job is to make sure we put other people's money to work responsibly. And so whether you're a big institution or you're a retail investor, it's, with that same fiduciary stewardship oversight that, we're in a position to make sure we do the right thing.
It's all about sustainable investing in this good earth. I mean, if you're concerned about the impact mankind is having on the planet today, I think it's also important to think about the incredible power we can have with our savings and investments. Our next story takes us here to western Utah, where lots of open space, abundant sunshine, and certainly a lot of wind makes this the ideal location to build entire fields of wind farms and solar farms. But these days, renewable energy that powers local communities is also generated by the local hog farmer and an American company that produces the food we eat every day. Let's take a look. That tasty bacon and sausage breakfast you may have eaten this morning was only possible because of the dedication of thousands of farmers across the country who raise crops and livestock for the food we put on our plates every day. Food companies take that bounty and turn it into the items that you eat in restaurants or see lining the shelves at your local grocery store or market. With a continuous and growing need for food here in the United States and around the world, and limited resources to produce it, sustainability in our food supply chain has never been more important.
By 2050, we're going to have 10 billion people on the planet. How you feed all those people? We have climate change issues, weather issues. There's challenges in where the food's going to come from. Are we going to use every square foot of space to do it? And the key is to do it sustainably, is to do it efficiently, using the resources we have. That's the challenge for food companies today.
This hog production facility near Milford, Utah, is one of many farms across America owned by Smithfield Foods, one of the world's largest pork producers. Smithfield raises over half the pigs needed to make the pork products it sells to grocery stores and restaurants across the country. The remainder comes from partnerships with thousands of family farmers across the United States. Smithfield's commitment to sustainability starts right here on the farm and continues throughout its supply chain. Through its sustainability initiatives, this company is focused on feeding a growing population and addressing some of the most pressing issues facing our society and planet, like climate change.
Well, John, we're one of the world's largest animal protein companies, and so we've got a significant impact on feeding the world. That's why when you look around here and you look at these projects, what we're trying to do is fulfill our basic core mission, which is good food responsibly.
Notably, Smithfield is credited for its unexpected renewable energy program at hog farms across the country, like this one in Utah, which is creating energy and power for thousands of homes and businesses. So, how are they doing it? Smithfield is converting hog manure into renewable natural gas, reducing methane emissions to create clean, renewable energy.
What we have behind us is a digester, and all the farms on this particular site have digesters similar to this. They're 25 foot deep. They have a 80 to 100 mil HDPE cover that captures the gas that's produced by the microbes as they work on the manure below. The biogas that's produced under this cover is converted from a 60 to 70% methane gas to a 99+% methane gas that can be sold and injected into the natural gas pipeline and used by homes, businesses, transportation sector, power generation, whichever sector buys that gas. The significance of it is, in 2017, Smithfield started a business platform called Smithfield Renewables. And Smithfield Renewables is really focused on making sure we meet our carbon reduction goal of 25% by 2025. A big part of that are renewable energy projects, manure to energy projects like you see here today.
All of their manure is taken out of the barn on a daily basis and taken to the digesters, which digest it and create the biogas.
The magic here is that we're pooling together manure and digesters from many different farms and bringing it in as natural gas to a central location. And that natural gas goes in and creates energy for homes, businesses, and transportation.
We've got an audacious goal really across our system to cover all our lagoons and capture gas on virtually all our company-owned farms. And then we want to expand that to all the thousands of family farmers that we work with. So I do believe that we're leading in this regard and that this is the future of farming that you're looking at.
This pig farm in Milford, Utah may very well be the future of farming in America, where farmers are not only supplying nutritious food to feed our people, but also supplying renewable energy to fuel our planet. I'm John Holden. Thanks for watching.